Shut up and sit down.
Hello, welcome to Trash TV Live, and we are privileged to have our friends from Slow Readers Club on the sofa with us. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
Now, what a year you've had, hey? That's been, and from a fan point of view, the album's been on repeat. Build It Out was just fantastic, and then that sort of culminated for me last summer at Kendal. How was that, main stage at Kendal?
Awesome. I mean, it's a great festival. We played the Calling Out stage, I think, in 2016, first of all, and that was good. Like, to get to fill that tent, it was one of our first major festival opportunities. And then, yeah, playing the main stage was, and the weather was kind to us as well, and it was people as far as you get, I could see, kind of thing. It was amazing. Yeah, really good.
Well, brilliant. And then, you know, your home gig just recently. How was that at the Apollo? I mean, it just seems like so much has happened for you in the past sort of 18 months or so. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah. I think for us, we've still had quite a gradual step up in terms of certainly the hometown gigs. Like prior to that, it was Albert Hall the year before, and so it seemed like a natural build-up.
It's going.
All that way up to the Apollo, we were still nervous booking it. We're thinking, oh my god, that Wayne's World booked and we'll come. You know, let's hope so. But yeah, it was amazing. Yeah.
And that must have been, you know, seeing those people there, and you know, after the reception of the album, and as I say, you know, a busy year, that must have been a nice way just to bring things to.
I think tonight we'd played to audiences of that size before. I mean, Kendal was the same year, so obviously that was a good number of people. And when we supported James and stuff, we played Brixton Academy and things. So you're used to the big audiences, but to think that our music put 3,500 people in a room with a hell of a lot of them singing along is it's pretty cool. So you know, it's whatever happens with the band, that's an achievement that you can stick on your gravestone or whatever, I suppose.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Does it, as a performer and a frontman, does it mentally change things for you? Did you get more nervous, sort of going out to more people? Well, say more people because I know at Kendal would have been more, but because it's your gig.
Yeah,
Apollo, were you thinking, better get my best dance moves out?
Yeah, yeah. I suppose you do feel a bit more pressure for it to live up to expectations, because there's a lot of focus on that one event that everybody, you know, the fans have all been looking forward to for months and stuff, and us as well. But I think once you hear everything's right, the sound on stage is right, you hear the response after the first track, you go, right, this is going well. And it's cool. It's cool after that. For me personally, I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, the same. I think you can build them up in your head, and I've done that over the years and found it's the worst thing you can do when you put the pressure on the one gig and you go, well, this is really important, or you know, it's, you know, you're recording it, you're filming it, whatever, and you get really, you know, nervous about one thing, and then it doesn't help you. You don't perform well, you don't enjoy it, and you make mistakes and stuff. Whereas if you can't treat it like any other gig, because it was big. But if you go too far the other way and get too anxious, it's not good.
I love it. So Arena next tour then. Is that's the natural progression? Okay, Bridgewater Hall and then.
Unfortunately there's not a. I think the Castlefield will probably be the next logical step, but in terms of capacity anyway. But the next tour is more about. We've always in the past been at day jobs alongside as well, but so we've done. And we've tended to focus on the main cities, so like Manchester, London, Liverpool, Glasgow, stuff like that. But the next tour is about getting out to smaller towns like, you know, Blackpool and Stoke and all that kind of stuff. And
I noticed that because those smaller venues, was that a conscientious thing? Because and you mentioned before I did the fact that have you all quit your sort of full-time day jobs now? So you take the band. So did you think, right, we've got this time, let's now get out to those smaller venues? Yeah,
that's it. I'd say it's just about. I mean, we love those shows anyway. We did a few for Independent Venue Week, where we did Hebden Bridge Trades Club and Bury Met.
Hebden's great.
The energy in there was amazing, and Leeds Brudenell as well. That wasn't an Independent Venue Week gig. That was just part of our tour. But you get the Apollo's amazing. Don't get me wrong, and you get a lot of. You know, it's just a different experience though, being in the smaller rooms. It's a lot. more physical, like people are bouncing around and all that.
Do you prefer that? Do you prefer the whole whites of their eyes?
Bit of both.
Yeah, a bit of both. I think.
You can't beat the spectacle of a massive crowd, can you?
Sometimes it's nice being up on a stage, and it feels comforting, but at the same time, being right next to people can really add to the vibe. I think, like you said, the Hebden Bridge one was one of the best gigs we'd ever done. I didn't expect it to be. I wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking, okay, independent venue, it's a nice little venue.
No, it's
what
great.
I think didn't give it much thought. And by the end of the gig, I was like, that was one of the best we've ever done.
Really?
It really was.
Stoke, the Sugar Mill as well was an amazing. Yeah, that was the last gig of the spring tour, was it? Last year, that was cool. But
so you got some great venues coming up. Now, I just want to go back a bit because there's a story with Slow Readers Club, and this is what I think all of us, I think, as fans and things like that, have been admire. You've been around in some form because you were in Omerta first, and that was 2002, 3,
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
and now you're just making the step up to the Apollo. What's behind? Where did you get your tenacity? Because that is a lot of people would have just thrown in the towel, wouldn't they? And that I find quite amazing. So where does that tenacity come from? Where did that drive come from?
I just think we believed in the songs, basically, and it was just a matter of time getting an opportunity, whether it be radio or a support slot. I mean, the James thing was transformative for us. That gave us an audience all around the UK, and it was just, that opportunity happened to come around off the back of, Kurt and I did an acoustic thing in Manchester Central Library for a YouTube channel.
Yes.
And James tweeted about that, and we're like, oh wow,
That's
Jim Glainer likes us from James. And we happen to know, there's a guy called David Brown in Manchester that writes for Evening Stars, and I knew he wrote their sleeve notes. So we did a gig, and David happened to be at the gig, and I just said, can you give him hand over a note? And fortunately for us, they happened to have a new album out and be touring within the next couple of months, and we got the support slot. But yeah, I think for the years that I've seen a lot of bands go by the wayside over the years. I've seen a lot of bands quit when they've, and there's somewhere you go, oh, they've done a similar gig to us, gone out, and I know when they book the show, and there's a good chance they'll go out there and they'll be playing to 5 people and the bar staff. And that can destroy you if you let it. But we didn't let it. For whatever reason, I think we just believed in what we do, I suppose.
There'd always be bits. It wasn't obviously the James thing was something big and transformative, but prior to that, there'd always be something that would come along. You might get just a little bit of airtime, radio play, or you might get some other show or some decent sized festival, and you think, okay, we've got that to look forward to, and you'd always have new music you were trying to write. And
so was it hope? Were you always thinking, oh, there's just a little glimmer of hope there?
I think there was elements of that, but it was never. But I think there was a period of time we were never sort of going, all right, we've got to go and sign to some major label and be full-time rock star. It was never like that sort of mindset for a good period of time, for like a good 5-6 years. We're like, if we can make great music while we're working and we're proud of it, then and do some good gigs, great. And once we start getting the fans, it was like, okay, maybe we can go full-time.
So chronologically, where did those years that you thought that? Where was that? Was that this time round, or was that back?
I think the second album, Cavalcade album. We were proud of that, and that was getting bits of 6 music play and stuff like that, and it like that. There was no single event that made everything explode. It's just bits and bobs have built up over time. The festival here.